Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum today. So we're really going to pay attention to those three. And first of all, I want to start out by saying that it is 12:44 p.m. Eastern Time. It's September 19th, 2019. So I want you all to have the date. Some people watch this, a day late or later into the night. And also a lot of people ask me what I'm trading on. This is TradingView, guys, what I do all my charting on. And also the close for us, the daily close, so the 24-hour candle close is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That's a question that I get a lot, so I just wanted to throw that out there before we get into this, guys. Also, I'm going to leave my Robinhood link down low if you guys are interested in trading stocks, crypto, anything like that. You all get a free stock when you sign up. I do as well, so it helps the both of us here, and it's a nice free platform for you. And I like to do that when I'm doing small trading where you can just kind of get in and out and you don't have to worry about commissions or anything. So I'm going to leave that down low for you guys. If you like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Appreciate you all being here with me today. And guys, I really want to say for the people, the 150, 200 people who, give me thumbs up or even thumbs down, or the people who are commenting, I really appreciate all the input, and I like to hear people's thoughts on things because you may be seeing a chart different than I'm seeing it, and when you guys point stuff out to me, then I'm able to look at it as well and I can see a different point of view. So I really value everyone's opinion here on this channel, and special thanks to all those people who really comment and like and all that. So guys, we're going to get into this. We're going to start with Bitcoin first. Right now we're at $10,045. We're down 1.09%. And what we're doing here, we're just still in this triangle, guys, or this continuation pattern that we're looking at. And what happened was overnight we actually had a dump down, if you can see this here. So we came back down. We didn't test the absolute bottom here, which would have been around that 9,300. We don't want to see 9,300 break. And remember, guys, the more times we touch the bottom here, the weaker this bottom's actually going to become, and there's a greater chance that we could break to the downside. So we actually started breaking down on some decent volume, but what you're seeing now is the bulls stepping back in. You can see this nice long wick here, and you can see the bulls stepping back in and trying to push the price back up. So we ultimately went down to around $9,584, and now we're back up around that 10,030. So it's still just watching this triangle formation and just waiting to see which way we're finally going to break out, guys. And what happened is we're still now below this 50-day moving average. And remember, when you're chopping sideways like this, moving averages aren't as important. It's still going to act as an overhead resistance, and it's sitting directly on this downtrend line. But moving averages are more to tell you about the trends. If you're going up or down, we've really just been consolidating sideways. So don't worry too much about moving averages right now until we start breaking up or start breaking down. Then you can start factoring them in a little bit more. Whenever you're moving sideways, they're just not as significant, okay? But guys, the fact that we've been basically in this huge consolidation pattern since June 26, 2019, whichever way we do end up breaking, either to the upside or downside, just in my opinion, it's going to be a massive move because traders have been waiting for this. They've been patiently waiting to see which way we're going to break, and that's what I've been doing as well. A lot of people are just sitting in cash and saying, okay, here's my plan for the upside, here's my plan for the downside. And as you can see, if we start breaking up out of here, I have an alert at 10,770. I want to be alerted here, and I want to see what we're doing with this downtrend line, guys, because we've been having lower highs and basically almost like a flat bottom into some higher lows, just slightly in some different areas, minor higher lows that we're looking at. So we're still just waiting for that break. We're keeping our eye on Bitcoin, guys. Right now there's more action that's taking place in the altcoins, and that's what we're going to get into next. So next one we're going to go into is Litecoin. And with LTC, we're at 75.69 now, run into that key area of overhead resistance. I was talking about this yesterday for Litecoin. So we've broken out, but what I wanted to see is if we could close up above that 77.52. And do you see how that was basically right on the money there, guys? In terms of the 50 moving average and support and resistance and all that, guys, Fibonacci, a lot of times they play out almost exactly perfect, and that's what I've been learning and really keeping track of things. How well did we bounce off the 0.618 or the 0.5? Is it acting as overhead resistance now? There's just so many different things that you can factor in, and that's what I want to show you here. And yesterday I plan on getting back to the comments of the last video, but I had someone say, I appreciate you not just being a moon boy and saying we're going to the moon or whatever, guys, and that's not what I want to do. I've been trying to learn trading and basically chasing these trends from the short term all the way to the long term. And you have to realize when you're looking at a death cross over top of us right here, and the 50 moving average was up above us correlating with this overhead resistance, that definitely could have been a spot where we saw resistance, and that's what happened here. As you can see, we saw some rejection. So we ended up closing slightly up above this 50-day moving average in pink, and then we ended up losing it. And what you're seeing right now, guys, we ended up getting pushed down to that 26 EMA in purple, and that was at $72.46. And what happened was the bulls stepped back in now. At this point, we're back up to 75.57. So today's candle close is going to be important. Are we going to close below the 50 and this 77.52, or are we going to finally get back up above that? And if we do get back up above that, the next area of overhead resistance I'm going to be looking at is this 200-day EMA, and that's going to be around $82.92. So that's important. But what I did like to see is that when we broke out here, at least came on some more volume. So that was a good thing there, but you can see some wicks, some rejection. So now I think a lot of people are waiting to see what's going to happen with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin started to dump down last night, you can see Litecoin was following that. Now that Bitcoin got bought back up a little bit, Litecoin's getting bought back up a little bit. So that's why we have to keep an eye on the Big Daddy Bitcoin. It's so important for us, guys. But what I do like is that we're finding support off this 26 and this 12 EMA, and it's looking like we're starting to get that cross. Okay, so that's why we're in a sticky situation here. We're having a trend line break, guys, but there's a ton of overhead resistance with that 77.52, the 50 moving average, and then ultimately that 200-day moving average. Those are all going to play a factor. Now, if we can get up above that 200-day EMA, then the next spot I'm going to look at for overhead resistance is 91.40. And I think it's very important for us to just look at price action right now, guys, more so than the indicators. I just really want to point out support, resistance levels for you and kind of devise a plan. That's the main thing. Okay. Now, if we start breaking back down through this 12 and this 26 EMA, then guys, I would look to see ultimately if this 62.69 is going to hold. That's going to be a big factor for us. But you know, when I do my technical analysis with you all, guys, like I've mentioned many times, I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what the whale in Japan is going to do while we're sleeping at night. I can't. But what you have to do is put the odds in your favor. And that's why I said I don't want to be a moon boy for you all and say, hey, we're going up to $1,000 for Litecoin. I don't want to do videos like that because it's not truthful right now. Can we get back up above $100 before we even start talking about $1,000 for Litecoin? And I feel like a lot of people really get their hopes up, and then when things don't happen, it can really cause Great Depression. I've talked to a few people who were buying very high back in the last run that we had, even up here in this area, and now they're looking at the price at $75 and they hodled all the way back down and they've lost half of their investment. And that's where you have to be patient. You have to wait for confirmations, and you don't want to be buying until you have those confirmations. And we still need more confirmations, in my opinion. We got a lot going on right now, and we need to find out what Bitcoin's going to do. So guys, that's Litecoin. Up above resistance, 77.52. We need to close up above that. We need to close up above the 50-day moving average today. We're going to be looking for that. Then ultimately trying to tackle that 200-day EMA. And then to the downside, guys, we'll see if we can keep around that $65, $62 range as support. That's going to be important. Next one let's move on to is Ethereum. Ethereum's doing great right now, guys. It's really pushing hard. And this is one that I'm happy about. I got in this trade for Ethereum at $186 was my spot. Right now, I'm still just sitting in my position. I'm being patient. I'm trying to see what's happening. Now, yesterday, and just to give you some examples of what I would have used to do, okay? So I'm looking at this more as swing trading, for me at least. And you see these two really strong wicks right here? And it was through the 200-day EMA. A few months ago, I would have said, all right, I'm seeing those wicks. I'm going to take some profits. But then a move like this happened. So I could have taken profits around, let's see, yesterday, guys. We closed below at around 210, 208. But the reason why I want to continue to let this move is because in the short term, the trend's starting to go up again. And what I'm learning is once you're in a nice position like how I got in at 186, you really want to let it ride as much as you can. And what I have now is a break-even stop loss in at that 186. And as the price moves up, I will slowly start moving that up, but I don't want to get wicked out, if that makes sense. These wicks are really long to the upside and the downside, so I want to be patient and really let this move take place. Just as you see, if I would have sold out at 207, 208, look what I would be missing out on right now. Okay? And what I really like to see and why I wanted to stay in the position is our 12 EMA is crossing over our 26 and also over top of this 50. So that was another reason why we may start pushing up higher, but we're going to have to wait for the close today. If we see another really long wick here, guys, and a lot of rejection, we close back down below this 200, then most likely we'd start trying to look to see if 202 would act as support, because that was old resistance. Whenever you break through old resistance, you want to back test it as support find support with good volume on it, and then try to make our next move up to that 239. So those are the areas that I have. I'm looking at 202 for support. I'm looking at 239 for overhead resistance. And ultimately, guys, down here, this 163, that's what needs to hold. If we start dropping below that, then we're going to have lower lows coming in. Do you see how we're having lower highs coming in and lower lows until we change that and we got out of that and we got over top of this high and we start putting in those higher lows and higher highs? And that's what you're looking for, guys. You really want to look at the trend change on the short term, intermediate term, and then the longer term. So Ethereum now, I would just want to do a few indicators on here because I think it's important as we're pushing up to this next strong resistance level around 239. But it's something, guys, we still could, even in this push, we could go up to that. You've seen how overextended we get in this space. So that's nothing that you really want to discount. Our RSI is at 73 right now, so we're in overbought territory. We've been as high as around 86.70 just recently when we were in that nice uptrend for Ethereum. So we still could go much higher. And if we go up into those 80s, that maybe could take us next to this stronger overhead resistance point at $239. But it's significant that if we close today up above that 200-day EMA, we're finally back up above it. When we lost it just recently here, guys, the true loss of it was back in July 14th, 2019 here. Then we tried to get back up above a couple times and we failed and we got pushed down to the bottom. Then we almost had a little double bottom here, and now we're trying to make that move to the upside. So I just wanted to let you know we are getting a little overextended, but I wouldn't be surprised if we still push up a little bit higher, guys. But you always want to protect your position. So like I said, in Ethereum, my position is 186. I have a break-even stop right now. I just want to let it ride. And that's the beauty of the stop losses, because even if I go to bed at night, guys, and I get stopped out, then you know what? I broke even. I learned something from the trade. I maybe should have taken profits a little sooner, but it is what it is, and that's trading. And if you're able to get in a trade and learn from it and you still break even, that's an awesome place to be, because you learned, you got a free education there, and you'll know what to do for the next time, or at least try to put the odds in your favor. That's the type of stuff that I'm looking for, guys. That's why I'm really always trying to pay attention and learn this stuff as much as I can and pay attention to these trends, just like how we had this almost little rounded bottom here. That's a beautiful thing. Just like that. And then, guys, for whoever's still here, I actually wanted to throw in one more. I haven't looked at this myself, but some people were saying XLM broke out over 40% or whatnot yesterday. So I just want to go back and take a look at that. We'll see what's going on. All right. Okay, so we got really strong volume. Guys, this is massive volume right here. So that's a great thing. We're up at 8 cents right now. And what's happening is we're getting to that point of resistance. So we want to draw resistance. Remember, always look at support and resistance right there. And I like to put mine off the real bodies. I put a lot of emphasis on the real bodies as opposed to just the wicks. I pay attention to wicks because it's important when people are taking profits, but I like to go support and resistance off the real bodies as much as possible. Okay, so with XLM, guys, we had that nice cross. Our 12 EMA over top of our 26. We're up above the 50, so that's good. And now we're coming up here trying to get over that 9 cents, and then it's going to be up around this 200-day EMA, which is roughly about 10 cents there. And remember, guys, when you're looking at these things, you're looking at percentages, not just 8 cents to 10 cents or whatever. That doesn't sound like that much, but in terms of percentage, it's a really big deal. It's a really big move, and that's what you want to capture. Now, our RSI is up at 76 right now, so we are in that overbought territory. Could we push higher? Absolutely. We're getting a little bit of a tweezer top right here, but we're going to have to see where we end up closing day. If this body is going to close up a little higher, because right now we almost have like a long leg doji, so we're seeing a lot of indecision. And it's also on a lot of volume, so that means shares are trading hands. You're going to have people buying, you're going to have some people selling. But me personally, guys, I've gotten to the point where I really don't have too much FOMO anymore. I've been there before, but I've learned how to block out FOMO. Just me personally, and this isn't financial advice, I wouldn't want to jump into something that was up over 40% the day before. I'd really want to pay attention to the retracement, see what happens. Could it push higher? Absolutely. But if it pushes higher, I'll still just wait for a nice retracement and then kind of see where we're at, and then maybe that's the spot to go long, because what we're trying to do is reverse that trend. As you can see, for the longest time here, we've just been in this downtrend, guys, day after day. We can even say it started back here when we lost the 200-day EMA officially was back in June, like the middle of June, June 16th. We ended up getting pushed to the downside there. But it's nice to see big volume coming back in, because that's what you want to see. You don't want to see a break like this on lower volume. Most likely that is a false break if you get one of those. Okay, and then guys, just for the people who are still here, I want to point out these are some of the stocks, cryptos, different things to the right here on TradingView that I like to look at. Omise Go, Zcash, Bitcoin Cash, Digibyte, Neo, Theta, ABC, Cron, just some different stocks, cannabis stocks, cryptocurrency stocks. That's the type of stuff that I like to look at, because once you learn how to trade this, it doesn't matter if it's pork bellies, gold, silver, rice, cryptocurrencies. Once you learn how to trade and you learn these techniques, guys, you can take it any place in the world. And that's what I'm looking to do, is to be able to trade any market in the world. And I want to try to be as successful as I can at it. So that's just me. I appreciate you guys being here with me today. If you get something out of this, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, guys. Appreciate you all being here with me today. Take care.